And I know the turning point for me was to go get help was when I started self-harm, because the only thing that would be grounding me to reality was the pain that I would feel. And just seeing blood would be like, oh, I'm still alive. I am clinically diagnosed with depression and several different anxiety disorders. Um, and I know the turning point for me was to go get help was when I started self-harm. And it was hard. It was really hard because the only thing that would be grounding me to reality was the pain that I would feel. And just seeing blood would be like, oh, I'm still alive. When did that happen? And I know a lot of the triggers for like the overwhelming emotions of depression would be bad grades or fights at home, because it was just like life is worthless, life is sad, because I defined myself so much by my achievements, and what I really needed in those situations was someone to say, I love you no matter what, and to take some of the pressure and the responsibility off of me, because I manage a lot. I teach fourth grade girls, I teach swim lessons, I manage in my drama department. I started a club this year, and I'm a junior at high school, still worrying about applying to colleges and SAT scores and trying to keep my family together and transporting, and it's a lot. And I just needed someone to say, I got you, don't worry about it. You can feel sad and that's okay. Feeling sad is okay. Let me get you help, because it seems like you could use some.
Thank you for opening up about that.
Yeah.
I think mine's kind of a similar situation where there's just a lot of stress. So I'm not clinically diagnosed. I'm a little more self-diagnosed. But like I definitely know that there is something off with me, because there are days, I might even get a little emotional now, but like I don't know exactly if it's anxiety, but there are days where I shake and I cry and I like literally like words will not come out of my mouth, and so I'll just start like I, and that's the only word I can say. Sorry, and it's really frustrating, and like she said, like it's debilitating, and so just like I know my parents had a lot to deal with, so I would internalize a lot of like the stuff. I didn't want to be another problem in my family.
I know personally for me, I don't feel like I really have anyone to talk to. So if I am having suicidal thoughts, I just have to deal with it myself, which makes it that much harder, because my mom is constantly sick. And I'm not talking hospitalization sick, but like bad colds and asthma, and she'll constantly be telling me how bad she feels, and it's exhausting. And then I have to deal with my sister, who has her own sort of very special issues, and she can be a little bit of a butthead. And then my dad works in California and is only home on weekends, and when he gets home, he has a list a mile long of stuff he wants to get done. And I just feel like like you said, I don't want to be another problem in my parents' life. And I don't want to be another problem in my friends' lives, because I know they're also going through stuff and battling, and I'm in a lot of leadership positions, and I don't want to be seen as, oh, that's the girl with the depression. Are you sure she can handle this leadership position? Are you sure she can handle it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want people to question my capabilities or my authority, because I'm fully capable of doing stuff. I just need help, like all humans do.
Harder, yeah.
And because it's slightly harder, I think that makes me that much stronger. I just wish that there was someone that I would know that would listen and not try to fix it, and wouldn't try to compare my hurts with their hurts.
I'm very glad that like God has like blessed me with like friends that I can go to, but it wasn't always like that. I can't really go to my family about it because they're like, I just have a weird relationship with them, and so as much as I could tell them about what's going on, it's like it's just not the best. Like I remember when I was young, if I got like sad, like my dad, he's a great guy, don't get me wrong, but you know, if I got like a little too sad for his liking, whatever, or let's say we went to a movie, right? And then afterwards, I'd be sad about something. He'd be like, "What do you have to be sad about? You just saw a movie." You know what I mean? Or like you have a roof over your head, and you know what? There is some truth to that. Like, you know, count your blessings. Definitely, you know, it helps with dealing with those emotions. Like, count every single blessing that you have. It does help. So I understood my dad. I don't think he meant it out of a, oh, just deal with it. I think he meant it more as a think about what you have, not what you don't have. And yeah, that sort of helped. And also like talking to God like helps. I do a combo thing. So I talk to friends in the night. I talk to God. Once it's out there, it's not going to be pent up in me anymore. And then afterwards, I spend some alone time with God. And, you know, the feelings that like I have with myself, like when I'm sad or like when I was depressed, I basically had very self-deprecating thoughts. And sometimes they come back and like, you know, like I really like think down on myself and I think I'm the worst person ever. But like I remind myself that like, you know, like Christ has like overcome all that, and like in Christ we're not that person. We're not, we're not supposed to. We're not that way, you know. And like why are we treating ourselves like we are, you know? And just reminding myself that like I'm not that person. I'm the person that God tells me I'm. If it's not in the book, it's not you, you know. And you know, it's just very crucial. And so because of that, because I've been doing that more recently, I've been able to get through a lot of stuff that normally would have like phased me for like months. But like I got Jesus reminding me that I'm so much more than that. One of the roots that I tend to see is like when people grow up in a home where like they feel like they can't be themselves. I feel like that can cause a lot of it, or it can be a big thing. Like most people I know that actually have depression, like that one friend I was talking about, almost all of them come from a place where like they can't truly be themselves, like around their family, around their parents, and sometimes around their friends, and they're sort of like they feel like outcasts and like alienated, and like, you know, I think that's like one thing is like feeling sort of left out, like you're the outlier and everybody else is, you know, normal, you know. I think that's part of it. I don't think that would be like the main root, but that's just a trend I've noticed with like all my friends that have it. I experienced that feeling my entire life up until senior-ish year of high school. I don't know. I always felt like I always felt like everybody was too like weirded out by me, you know. And so I got to the point where I got like bullied in like middle school, where like this one kid, he was like really popular. He thought I was so weird that like in the middle, I think we were a gym class, and he literally said straight to my face like, "You're a mistake to God," and like, you know, stuff like that, and stuff like that was kind of frequent for me.
I'm sorry you had to go through that. So how were you able to take that pain, you know, that hopelessness, and transform that into who you are right now?
Jesus. I realized that, you know, he made me a certain way, and like, I just like realized like one day I just woke up, I was just like, yeah, I'm weird, but like it's not bad. It's like I realized God made me a certain way, but because of my past experiences, I had been shoving all the good things about me like down, and I didn't even know who I was. And then once like I had like a wake up call, I was like, no, it's like, God made me this way. God made me to be like, God didn't make me to like seclude myself. God made me a person that wants to be around others. And like, yeah, I'm eccentric, I guess, but like, it's not bad. Like, I'm not crossing any boundaries. I'm just like me.
Yeah, I get that. Like, that's similar to my story too. I grew up in the Silicon Valley, which is a very largely Hispanic and Asian population. So I hated myself for the longest time through like elementary school and middle school, because like I wanted to dye my hair brown. I was always looking to get tanner and just to conform and look less white. And I just got called fat and teased a lot. And I'm a very energetic and bossy person, and people didn't like that. And so I didn't have very many friends. I had one or two, and that was kind of it's kind of all I had. And so just being isolated from everyone and feeling alone, it sucks, and it's hard to go through, especially if you don't have a support system at home or a rocky one. Through that, I was able to break down who I was, figure myself out. I was able to get involved in a youth group, and they showed me who I was to God. They showed me that I was loved with all my quirks and messed up and with all my crazy blonde moments, and it's just one of those things where you really need to separate yourself. The friends aren't as important. You need to take a step back from the now and think about the big picture and think about, is this really important? Am I gonna think about the girl who pushed me and called me fat in 8th grade? Or am I gonna think about the amazing things I was able to do, or my self-worth and identity? What's gonna carry more weight in the future? And as hard as it was just a wake-up call.
No, that was really good. Thank you all for opening up so much and sharing, what you guys have individually gone through, or even with your friends or something like that. So thank you. I think everyone goes through their own type of, I think life's a roller coaster. So we all have our own highs, we all got our own downs, and so it's great how we can all talk about it and share it, like how there are similar aspects of it, especially those raw emotions that you feel. So, to kind of share, my side of it, my opinion of this, like, I definitely believe, like, a lot more, Joy, like, what you hit on, a lot of that was great, same with you guys, like, what you hit on was great, where I think that a lot of it stems from God, and, I don't think anything's the sole root, what we talked about. I think a lot of it has these different components. But I think a lot of things come from God, and He didn't want us to have that pain, that sorrow, that heartbreak, that fear. I think those emotions He didn't want us to have. But, we fell. It happened. I think that's okay, because I think God is so amazing and loving and beautiful that He takes our messy brokenness, and He's like, it's okay. Because through me, I'm going to show you how amazing you are and how perfect you really are. And so I think that we tend to, we have these down times, and we feel like the world is crashing on us. There's no hope. We get that hopeless feeling. We get that I can't have the motivation. I can't do anything. I feel like I'm drowning and I can't breathe. And you get that little glimpse of breath, but then it just gets taken away from you. But I think that a lot of the times through those times, we're learning and we're growing. There's things happening us that God is like, I know you're hurting right now. Just hold on, please. I promise I'm with you. You're not alone. And, we tell ourselves, I'm alone. No one will understand, but we're not. He's saying, I'm here with you, and we're going to get through this together. And on the other end, we are going to come out stronger and better than ever before. And it's not always gonna, it won't always be low. We'll get those high. And when you're in that high, you get to really appreciate the good moments and that good times from those low moments. I think those low moments help us appreciate God's love for us. That he saves us at times, and he really comes in. And that when we're at those low, we can appreciate that he's there with us, and then he's there with us and then when we're good again, and, he's never leaving our side. But, he kind of lets us go through those things just so we can experience, his love, but also that we experience growth also. But I think what's really great is that it's never permanent. It's always temporary. And I feel like a lot of times we get in that, this is never going to get better. And I think for a lot of people, that's what they feel, is that they don't have Christ in their life. So they don't feel that sense of, I have a purpose. I am awesome. I'm pretty cool. That sense of that things are going to be okay, because they don't have that voice of reason. You know what I mean? That they don't have that light. So it's hard for them I think that's where depression, and I think that's where Satan comes in, and he will come in and he will use that to take us down and to destroy us, because that's what he wants to do. And I think that depression wins. I mean, we see these suicide rates. We're over Corona High School. Our youth pastor's been there, 9 years, and he's witnessed 20 suicides, or 20 deaths. I believe 16 of those have been suicides. That shows that depression is winning. Like, it is winning, and it should not be winning. So, I mean, what you guys talked about, that's great. Listening to our friends, community, oh my goodness, community is so big. Having a friend being yo, I got you them snacks and the memes and all this good stuff. Having a friend that you can really just lie on a little bit. I mean, we've got God we can always lie on, but not everyone has that. So if we can rest on friends too, or if you can be that light for a friend so they can rest on you. And I mean, we're not taking on all their troubles. We're not being putting it all on us. But having that, medium where we can be there for someone, but also have a healthy relationship, ourselves. So I think this is really great, of having a mixture of everything to help us heal us during those low times. So when we can, go back to the good old days. But I mean, I think we all go through depression or a sense of sadness, and however it is, we all go through that at some point. And if we can have a community or someone to rest on one another, it's so big. Just to love. I feel like love is so important, and it's so big that we tend to miss over it. But if we could just love on someone and each other and ourselves, most importantly, oh my gosh, if we can love ourselves and so it overflows and it just pours out to everyone else, that'd be pretty cool. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing. I loved hearing your guys' stories. It was awesome. I think we got some great combos today. So thank you.